Business Industrial Development Authority meeting on Thursday, November the 12th, 2020. I am calling the meeting to order at 6:34 p.m. We will now have roll call. My name is Eleanor Cornelius, Chair.
Demetrius Taylor, Vice Chair.
Jamel McKenzie, Secretary Treasurer.
Aaron Paxton Arnold, BIDA.
Leslie Zen, BIDA.
Bianca Motley Broom, Mayor.
Ambrose Clay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Dan Lee,
Good evening,
Attorney
Terrence
for BIDA.
Moore, Office of the City Manager. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Mercedes Miller, Executive Director for the fabulous Georgia International Convention Center and the Gateway Arena at College Park.
R.D. Jones, Executive Director of Clearly College Park.
I think I was
Pastor Hall Garrison, Assistant Secretary Treasurer and Program Manager at City of College Park.
and I think I was muted a minute ago. Ken Allen, Ward 3.
I'm Renee Coakley, Main Street Manager for the City of College Park.
Councilman Taylor.
Councilman Taylor, Ward 2.
Okay. Is that everyone?
Madam Chair, Ed Wall, Financial Advisor.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. At this time, we will have review and approval of minutes. Review of BIDA minutes of October the 8th, 2020. Any corrections? So I don't hear any correction. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Review of BIDA special call meeting minutes of October the 15th, 2020. Now I have only one correction for that, and that would be that Dan Lee was not present at the meeting. That would be the only correction.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, he was actually on the phone with us during that meeting.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I was not aware of that. Okay. Thank you for that information. All right. Sorry, Attorney Lee.
That's quite all right.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second? Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And opposes? Motion carried. All right. Addition, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda. And I have one. Suggestion for recognizing businesses during the December meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. And that will be item C of new business. Okay? Very good. New business. Moving right along. BIDA housekeeping. And I'm going to turn that over to Mr. R.D. Jones.
Thanks, Madam Chair. As far as housekeeping for the Business and Industrial Development Authority, given that we are seeing a rise of COVID cases and in an effort to social distance from this point forward until further notice, what we're going to be doing here as far as staff, as far as delivering the BIDA packets, we will no longer be delivering BIDA packets to your door. We will be sending the BIDA packets out on the Friday prior to the BIDA meeting, and that will be done electronically. And if there is any BIDA member that would like to have a hard copy of the agenda, we can have those, we can have hard copies, we can have copies available for you here at City Hall at the receptionist desk. You just have to let us know your preference. Everybody's going to get an electronic version, but only those individuals that ask for a hard copy will get a hard copy of the BIDA packet. Are there any questions? That was it.
Yeah,
Thank
for those, okay, so those, since we're concerned with the social distancing, then that's also, BIDA member would have to come into City Hall if they want a copy. Can we just have those copies, if you want a hard copy mailed to you, US mail?
You can if you'd like to wait. I mean, that'd be fine, but you'd have to wait until it made it to you in the mail, and it would not go out until Friday. So that might be Monday or Tuesday when you get it.
Okay. I was just wondering because I mean, I know it's a lot to deliver them, but they're being delivered to the door. So I just didn't see how that was affecting COVID or social distancing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Any questions? Any other questions for Artie? All right. Thank you very much, Artie.
Welcome.
Special events request, Timeless Brand Drive-In Concert. And I'm going to ask the gentleman to give us a summary, and he will have 5 minutes to do so. And I would like for Tasha to start the timer.
Okay, I'm allowing him into the room currently, so I'll begin once he's fully in.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Ryan, are you with us?
I'm here.
Okay, he's ready.
Did he hear what I just stated?
I did not.
Go ahead and repeat yourself, Chair Lady, because I believe he was just signing in at that time. He may have missed
Okay.
it.
Hello, Mr. Hill. How are you this evening?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. We have a very lengthy agenda this evening, so I'm going to ask that you give us a summary, and if you can do that within 5 minutes.
Sure. What we're doing, and thank you to the BIDA team for allowing me to speak. What we're requesting is Timeless Brands USA is a Atlanta-based experiential marketing and digital storytelling agency, and one of our brands is called Drive-In Concert Series. What we're requesting is, with the permission of both the council as well as BIDA, is to host a series of drive-in concerts on the 18 acres that's adjacent to Phillips Park. If we are granted this opportunity, some would be in conjunction or in partnership with the city once approved. Others would be private events, and some would be a hybrid. We sent over a package that I hope answered many of the logistical questions. We are a 100% turnkey operation, although when we have a partner that is able to bring additional support to the table, we do accept that. But if approved, we are prepared to not cost the city anything, but actually bring revenue to the city, depending on how we structure the deal. We pay for the police officers. We pay for any city employees, officials, or staff that supports the event, including police, fire, EMT, etc. So this is not designed to be a burden to the city, but as Councilman Gay has said in previous meetings, this is designed to be something that enhances and uplifts the city. In addition, it is possible for us to do some concessions with the city if that fits into the way that we structure the deal. I don't want to take all 5 of the minutes. It's pretty high level. But if there are any questions whatsoever, please let me know.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. I'm going to open this up to the BIDA board members, and then I will make my comment at the end.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Hill. This is Demetrius Taylor. I'm the vice chair. My question to you is, what is attracting you to the 18 acres property versus partnering with our city with the GICC? Because for what you're asking, it would seem like that would be a better fit and a better partnership. What is specifically about the 18 acres that has you attracted? Because I see that there's a lot of concessions that will have to be made in order to get that up to par. So what is that dynamic for you?
Great question, and thank you for it. I have a long-standing relationship with Mercedes and Director Mercedes Miller and the GICC going back approximately 10 years. And I very much appreciate Mercedes and the GICC for taking a gamble on the drive-in concerts concept at the earlier part of this year. And we have executed several events, all sold out at the GICC. What attracts me to this area is three things. One, our following is used to coming to that area because we've done several successful events at the GICC. Second, if there is a way for us to continue to support College Park, as College Park was who gave us an initial opportunity, I would like to do that. But third, and maybe Director Miller can speak on this as well, our events tend to be a little bit larger than the parking lot at the GICC can hold. So the 18 acres allows us to be a little bit more spaced out. It allows us to maintain our social distancing protocols a little bit better. It also allows us more than one entry point as well as exit. Well, we are a little bit constricted at the GICC, and that is not designed to be a complaint, more just an answer to your question. When we took a look at the 18 acres, it gives us 2 easements in and out that will allow us to control traffic flow, minimizing the number of people that we flow over into the streets, getting people in and out in a more effective manner, and not hold up potential entrances such as we have done in the past with long lines trying to get in, and sometimes causing some concerns for the hotels because of the length of the lines. So this property allows us to, one, space people out a little bit more so that we can create even more safety with social distancing. 2, allow us to get a few more people into the event. And 3, a little bit better street access, as it is more accessible to Interstate 85 and with multiple entry and exit points.
Okay, now let me ask this. Yep. The difference between the GICC and the 18 acres is that the 18 acres is surrounded by residential territory, and we have residents there versus the hotels, which the hotels are a little bit more designed to handle noise and et cetera, et cetera. Have you guys put that into your plan? What have you thought about the neighbors? You're talking about a drive-up concert. We're talking about bass and this, that, and the other. What have you guys fit that into this particular equation?
Yes, when we considered the 18 acres, we did think about the neighbors, and I asked questions as far as, has this property been used for any other entertainment style events in the past? And we've been told that there have been some concerts that have been there. There's been a carnival that's there. There's an annual festival that goes on. And as long as we are willing to work within the ordinances regarding noise, i.e., we need to stop promptly at 11 p.m. to ensure that we're not getting in any legal trouble, it may be ideal. Now, I have listened to multiple council meetings as well as town halls, because I want to ensure that this is an enhancement to the community, not a burden. So what we're planning on doing is, from a directional sound perspective, ensuring that the sound is directed away from the residents. Now, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying. We have absolutely no ability to ensure that the residents do not hear the concert. We have no ability to do that. However, we can ensure that we are not directly firing sound into a residence. And we have a strategy for doing that. But what I would also like to do is give things back to the residents. And I've talked with Councilman Gay, because I believe Ward 4 and this property falls under his jurisdiction, so that maybe we're doing things that allow the residents to come, possibly at no additional cost, and even do a few things that complement the residents. I know this is an older community, so maybe some of the concerts will bring artists that they are interested in hearing from, and we're more than willing to work with the community that way. So I want to condense my answer down to this. While we do not have an ability to prevent the residents from hearing the concert, we do have a strategy for minimizing the amount of sound that's going into the concerts. And we have a strategy that will allow us to work with the councilman to understand what type music they may want to hear and create some events that will attract the neighbors versus it feel like it's something working against the neighborhood and their interests.
Okay, one more question for you, and then I'm gonna pass it on. You've been mentioning that you've been working in close proximity with Councilman Gay. Councilman Gay is over Ward 4, and I know a lot of the residents of Ward 4 are concerned with that area. But have you been counseling with Councilman Taylor, who is actually over that particular piece of land, so that you two can also come to this conclusion?
No, sir. Once I have the approval of BIDA, and I'm just being assumptive here. I'm not hopefully being disrespectful. I plan to continue to walk down the path of working with everyone that's appropriate to create the right path to success here. So if there is another council person up to and including the mayor and the entire council body at large, I plan to be a partner for the council and the mayor versus a single entity that's coming in simply to make money off of College Park. So the short answer is no, I have not extended any additional relationships outside of Director Miller and Councilman Gay. However, I have sent our proposal to all of the council members as well as the mayor so that everyone has seen our approach. And once I am working through the process, I intend to work closely with everyone that's appropriate to make this a successful series.
Mr. Hill, this is Jamel McKenzie. I'm Secretary Treasurer for BIDA. I want to thank you for your desire to bring entertainment to the city of College Park and to enhance, as you believe you would enhance the lives of our citizens. As far as BIDA, the property, the 18 acres, I guess Demetrius has asked some of the questions that I have. I do not live in that area. I actually live in Ward 1 next to the golf course. And my concern, I guess, just would be for the residents, since you do have quite a few seniors in that area that live very close, because Phillips Park is right there, and then you have homes right across the street. When the concerts are being held at the GICC, the noise, the sound is so loud that it sounds like we have people out in our streets here in my subdivision, which is over here by the golf course. So I am concerned, not as a Ward 4 resident, but as a Ward 1 resident, knowing that there may be some challenges in terms of what you are trying to accomplish regarding the sound. Also, what you were saying in terms of the GICC not working as well for you because the parking lot is, your capacity is larger than, I guess, what you can do social distancing. So if we're talking about that type of crowd, I guess I also would have a concern. And I guess this may not even be a BIDA concern, because maybe it's a City of College Park concern, but about the amount of traffic that will be in there, because again, the GICC was designed specifically to accommodate traffic from Camp Creek Parkway. But the citizens of Ward 4, I think that there may be a concern there, and Ward 2, about traffic on those days. But last, my concern would be just as BIDA, now speaking as a BIDA board member, from the BIDA standpoint, this is a piece of property that we have on the books for sale. And so to be able to accommodate you and set up a contract for dates in the future, it becomes problematic, because if we were to get somebody that was interested, which we do have, if you had spoken to our council, Ward 2 council, who that actually is his jurisdiction, there are persons that are constantly interested in that piece of property. So as from a BIDA standpoint, looking at leasing property for events that is for sale, that could be problematic for us.
I think that you raised, and thank you for your stating your concerns and your question. I think you raised very, very good points. I'd like to address them all, but I'll start at the end. From an interest perspective, my company and my partners have interest in the property as well. I've shared that, and we have had conversations, walked the property, and we're beginning to better understand what the community is looking for. For example, a community center, some green space, and some other things that enhance the community. We're aware that they are adamantly opposed to a warehouse on that property, as we've heard in multiple town hall sessions and in other situations where they've had an opportunity to speak. Now, from a traffic perspective, our approach would not inappropriately enhance the traffic on that intersection, because it was originally designed 30 years ago as a shopping center. And while we would be planning on putting several hundred cars into it, we have a strategy where it will not go down residential pathways. We can come down Gateway, we can come off I-85. We have 3 ways that we can get to this property without passing through a residential area. So we have evaluated that. From a sound perspective, I've had my audio engineers go out to the property, both at the GICC as well as this 18 acres, and we do what's called a decibel check. And what we're evaluating is how much noise is an airplane making opposite the amount of sound we would produce at a concert. And each of our concerts has operated at a decibel level below an airplane taking off and landing. Now, I will grant that our concerts will last about 3 hours of continuous sound, but we would not put any additional sound into the area that is not already being generated by Hartsfield Jackson and airplanes landing and taking off. So I want to be very clear here that my company is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. We have absolutely 0 complaints that have not been addressed and resolved without negative impact to my company, and that's because we're careful. We want to work well within what's right for the community. We want to work well within what's right legally, but we want to work well within what's right perception-wise, because we simply do not want to create any unnecessary hindrance or hazards on the community, the neighborhood, or College Park at large. With that being said, we'll be working very closely with not just the Clayton County Police, but the College Park Police to ensure that our traffic patterns and plans are approved by them. And then we will hire off-duty College Park Police to enforce those traffic plans to ensure that we're remaining compliant.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, can I just respond? Just one thing to him. I just wanted to say, Mr. Hill, thank you. As BIDA board members, we are here, our concerns are for the property of BIDA, but we also are representatives of the communities that we live in. And even as this presentation has been going on, I've been getting bombarded with text messages from persons in Ward 4 who are very, very concerned about this. So while we do appreciate what you're trying to do, just understand that as BIDA board, we are concerned with the land, but we also, each of us represents the communities that we come from too. So that will be taken in consideration in our decision.
And I thank you for that. I think that is a fair statement. I absolutely want to hear from the community. And I'd like to point out that our approach is not unique. This is a very similar approach to what we see over at Lakewood, as well as Chastain Park, where having an amphitheater style entertainment arena enhances the community as long as they're following certain guidelines. And we're hopeful that if given an opportunity, we can ease the concerns of citizens, but we simply want to be given a shot. We don't know until we know. And all we're asking BIDA, the council, the mayor, and the citizens of College Park at large is let us try to do this right. If we get it wrong, we'll stop. But give us a shot at getting it right.
All right. Mr. Hill, I only need to make a comment. I listened to the city council meeting on November the 2nd, and we had several public comments regarding the concert. And all of those concerts, I mean, most of those citizens stated no to having a concert at the Jamestown site. So, and I live in Ward 4, and I'm just a block away from the park.
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware.
And many of the seniors here in the community, they are really concerned about the traffic. For example, God forbid if we have someone that gets ill over here and we need emergency to come to pick them up.
Are you still there?
I think we
lost you, Eleanor.
Yes, ma'am. The last thing I heard you say is, God forbid we have an emergency in that area and there needs to be emergency services available. It's a very good concern. When we began considering the GICC, that same concern arose, and I assured Director Miller that we would have a plan that would allow emergency service to get in and out without hesitation to get to those in need. And when we did have an unfortunate situation where we had two people who had an emergency need, we were able to execute that plan and get them the services that they needed very quickly, and in getting both the ambulance and the fire truck in and out safely without any additional hesitation or injury. Now, I would like to also say this. Those same citizens, or many citizens, have had many of the same concerns about some of the events that are being held at the GICC. And when those concerns arose, some recommendations were made for how we could address and ease some of those concerns, and we made those changes. And I'm not sure if the concerns still remain, but we did make the adjustments that were suggested. We plan to do the same thing here. All I'm asking,
well, thank you, Mr. Hill. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment at this time?
I'd like to make the last statement. All I'm asking is that we be given an opportunity to get it right. That's all I'm asking.
Hi, Mr. Hill. This is Aaron Paxton Arnold from BIDA. And I honestly, everything sounds good. I know that you'll work with the necessary entities to make sure that this is successful and be considerate. And honestly, we've had a lot of proposals put in front of us since I've been on BIDA over the last 2 years. And I think this has probably been the most thorough. So I just thank you for it. And, I'm sure it'll work out how it needs to work out. And thank you for your thoroughness and professionalism. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else? Leslie, Mayor Pro Tem. Anyone else?
The only thing I would repeat is that we, in addition to what you mentioned, Madam Chair, and what Ms. McKenzie mentioned about text messages coming in, I recall at the last council meeting, we had a few comments come up about the splash pad. And these were from seniors in your ward that were saying, well, we like to hear the kids playing on the playground, but we're concerned about the extra traffic, et cetera, going on with a splash pad. So there seemed to be a general concern by at least the seniors of additional people coming in, being entertained, et cetera. So I'm just adding to the comments about the concern for the neighbors.
May I respond to that, if okay?
Mr. Hill, if you can make it very brief.
Sure. My response to that is, we understand and need to hear from the neighbors to ensure that their concerns are heard and addressed. Anything that is developed on that property is going to increase traffic. And so anything will need to be as considerate as we're planning on being, to provide a plan to ensure that the neighborhoods are not overrun with unnecessary traffic, and ensure that their concerns are being addressed. I just want to reiterate, we are simply asking for an opportunity to get this right. And if we get it wrong, we will voluntarily stop.
Okay. I have a question, Ms.
Sure.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
My main concern is, if it's at the convention center, it's usually between 400 and 500 people. So if it's in that field over in the acreage, are you expecting 700 to 800 people? What is the number that you're expecting? Because I know whenever you have a concert, you're very successful at it, but they always oversell. So what are the numbers that you're looking for that area?
Yes, ma'am. Great question, Director Miller. Our target is 600 vehicles.
No, people. How many people?
We plan to have no more than 4 people per vehicle. And at 600, that gives us a max capacity of 2,400 people. However, I want to be very clear here. That is a max capacity. Over 60% of the people that come to our event only have 2 people in the car. So we are anticipating that number to be more appropriately in the 15 to 1,800 person range, but we are targeting 600 people. I'm sorry, 600 vehicles. And from my understanding of events that have been held on that property previously, this will be below the max capacity of previous events.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone else from the board that would like to make a comment at this time?
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Okay, go right
Mr.
ahead.
Hill, what's the plan in terms of checking vehicles for weapons? What's the traffic flow going to be like, and how can residents around the area expect that to happen in addition to them moving in that Jamestown area?
Great question, Madam Mayor. And that will be something we will work closely with the City of College Park to develop a plan for that. As you're probably aware, there are laws that prevent random checks of vehicles. And so we have not done some of that in areas where it was inappropriate, but we do have a plan for it. But our plan would be contingent to the approval of the City of College Park, the police department, because we will not put anything in place that is not consistent and approved by them.
Okay.
And Mr. Hill, just a FYI, with the concerts that we do at the convention center now, we post no weapons so that we do search all the cars now, and we find that works pretty well.
Oh, great. Then Director Miller, I have always been a proponent of searching the cars, and so whatever strategy you're using over there that's been approved and consistent with local and state laws, we are happy to follow that approach.
Okay.
Madam Chair, may I follow up on that?
Yes.
That has shown to slow traffic down at the GICC and back traffic up. If you're expecting 600 vehicles in this area, where are they going to be queued in order to allow other traffic to flow while this process is happening?
Yes, ma'am. Great question. The reason we feel that this property is more conducive is because it has 2 entry points and a potential for a third. So the overflow traffic on the highway should be less than it is at the GICC because we're able to move people in faster, get them checked, and safely enter. Again, this is simply a strategy. Once we execute an event, and I'm sure Director Miller can contest to this, we make adjustments and improvements to our processes after every event. So we will develop a strategy that gets them in very quickly and safely with the appropriate checks, but enhancements to that strategy will be made post every event. And we plan to have, if we are able to have an assigned liaison with the city, we plan to have post-event meetings to talk about things that did not go as expected and develop an approved plan.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hill. Thank you for your conversations regarding the drive-in concert. So at this time, I'm going to ask my board to place a motion here so that we can move on.
So moved. Let's move on. What you mean move on in terms of move on with the meeting, or you talking about with this?
We need to give him an answer, yes or no, regarding the concert, I would think.
So are you moving to approve it or moving to deny it?
Okay, no, I was moving to move on with the meeting. I didn't realize we were going to vote on this right now. So again, the 2 dates that we have are my concern as just a discussion. The first date is only a few weeks ago from here. It's around Thanksgiving. But the second date, I have very serious concerns about, since we have concerns from our citizens about having this concert on December 31st, New Year's Eve. It's already, the holidays are already kind of wild sometimes, and just bringing that element in, I have concerns. So my motion is that we deny this at this time.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes?
I oppose.
Okay, we have one opposed, Aaron Paxton. All right. I believe the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the consideration.
You're quite welcome. All right. The next item is C, suggestion for recognizing businesses during the December meeting. Now, I had a conversation with Artie during our agenda review, and I just felt that we needed to do something small to let the many businesses here in the city know that we appreciate them moving forward during this pandemic. I just wanted to open it up to see what are your thoughts. I understand we have budget restraints, but I just want us to do a little something.
I'm wondering, Madam Chair, excuse me.
Go right ahead.
Of course, I'm 100% cheerleader for acknowledging anyone, and I think that any business in College Park that made it through this pandemic is worthy of getting a certificate, because these have really been tough times. And even as we look at ourselves with the Airport City project, which we call 6 West now, we're looking for new businesses, but if all of our businesses that are existing right now go out of business, then what incentive would new businesses want to come to this city? I'd love to see some type of recognition. I know we're not going to have any kind of virtual event or an event at the GICC, but is it possible that maybe we could either do a nomination between now and then, and select some businesses that we could give a certificate or some type of acknowledgement to, within the next few weeks? So that's just my suggestion, that we do some type of recognition for the businesses that have weathered the storm and are, hanging out there. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I concur with that assessment, Jamel. Usually, our businesses and stuff are looking forward to the BIDA Christmas celebration that we do, at the end of the year. And because of COVID and all the hardships that everyone has been experiencing, we're unable to do that. But at the same time, I totally agree that we have to look out for our businesses and let them know that they are appreciated. Without them, being the veins of the pulse and of the heartbeat of College Park, we couldn't do the things that we do. So a certificate of something that we can say, hey, thank you, and keep going. I agree.
Artie, would you want to share what we talked about regarding the, what's that thing outside City Hall? What do you call that?
LED board?
No, the message.
The LED message board outside of City Hall.
Right, yes. I thought about us having a shout out to the businesses on that, as well as the one at the GICC, because with that, it wouldn't cost us any money.
I think that's an excellent idea.
That is an excellent idea.
But it would be a way for the people to drive by and know that we have them in our thoughts.
I'll throw out another idea. Right now, I believe we have, with the LED board at the GICC, we rent out, we advertise, we sell advertising on that board. Is that not correct, Mercedes?
We do, but usually if it's a new business on Main Street, we give them 30 days advertisement for free. So what we could do, if you have the people that are winners for BIDA this year, we could advertise them for 30 days for free.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yes, sir.
So, and maybe you give the second place winner 15 days or something like that. But you could use that. That could be their reward, and it wouldn't cost us anything except a loss of revenue for what we would rent it out for otherwise.
Okay.
Well, what really wouldn't cost us a loss of revenue because the ones that we have, they have a contract for the year. So it's just adding another ad in there and we could run them more often. So there's no cost to the convention center.
Okay, then I think it's a winner.
I concur.
Anyone else comment?
Well, I have a question. I thought you wanted to commend all the businesses for making it through, and now we're going down to a first and a second place business. Am I misunderstanding?
My vision was to just have a little note to let them know we were thinking about them. I don't know how many businesses we could get on there during the week. Maybe we could have, I was just thinking maybe we could recognize most of the businesses we have here in the city of College Park, but I'm willing to do whatever the board would like to do.
Can I respond to Leslie? Well, Leslie, in the past, what we've done is we've had different categories, and the BIDA board has nominated businesses for each of those categories. So when I was speaking, I was coming from that perspective that that's what I was saying, in the next few weeks that we nominate some businesses for those in the categories, and then what we would be putting on. So it'd be the same as last year. I mean, I just think it would be a travesty to not recognize businesses at all this year, in spite of what they've gone through. But I wasn't, Renee Coakley sent me a list of all the businesses in College Park today, and it's a whole bunch of businesses. So I don't think we could get them all on there. But if we were to do the nomination process again, and then those that won or were selected would be those businesses that would be on the digital board.
And excuse me for
That's
speaking out
actually
of,
where I was going, and I think I misspoke when I said second place, because we do have multiple categories.
Yes.
And we could give a slot to each winner in each of the categories, and it might not be for 30 days. It might be fewer than that.
Mm-hmm.
We have elected not to do advertising on the LED board in front of City Hall. I think we've kept that pretty pure in that regard. We haven't advertised businesses. Maybe Artie could correct me if I'm wrong, but we do sell advertising at the GICC, and that would be a perfect place to put a category, maybe a category every half week or every week, and the winner in that category would go up. And that's what I meant, that there might be several people that would go up. There's not just one winner.
I know every graduate that shows on that. I think there's plenty of room to thank businesses. That's not advertising, that's showing genuine appreciation or support. Mm-hmm. But Renee, how many businesses are there in College Park?
I was gonna just actually make that correction. That list that I sent was just Main Street and Virginia Avenue program.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, and it took me almost an hour to clean out all of the ones from all over the city. So there's a large number of businesses in the city of College Park.
So I'm thinking that we could just have a generic message that would include all the businesses where we wouldn't have to just nominate anyone, because it's a short turnover right now, people. So I'm just thinking if we come up with a generic message to thank the businesses here. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking, but.
Well, that's easy.
I'd like to, one thing that the Madam Chair Lady and I talked about was putting something on the LED board, thanking businesses just for kind of hanging in there and everything. I think that would be of value. Also at the next meeting, maybe the chair lady might have a letter or something that she would read to the businesses so that they would understand, that we are behind them and we're not happy that we can't be together this year, but we're gonna, shoot for next year. And then the third thing is, the only person on the, I guess, by the board, that's a business owner is Leslie Zinn, that I'm aware of, at least that, is recognized. A couple of them have some, nonprofit organizations, but as a business person, Leslie, what would be of value to you that Business and Industrial Development Authority could provide to you as a business person?
I would love to see my name flashed across LED light saying, thank you, Arden's Garden, for supporting College Park supports Arden's Garden as you're supporting us. Also, I today got from the city of East Point a proclamation saying, thank you for going above and beyond, blah, 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 blah. And I'm telling you, it's up on our wall already.
Okay.
And it probably cost $1.
Mm.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You want to do it for 6,000 businesses. I don't know how many businesses you're talking about, but it would mean a lot to a business owner to see their business flashed across a screen. It really would.
So how many businesses, Renee, just on Main Street? How many?
Just in the Main Street program area, there's probably upwards of 80 to 90 businesses.
Absolutely. Because I'm counting now.
Right, but you're just flashing their name. You can put it can be, Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Noodle, or,
and I think we could splash more than one. I mean, I think we could
be a continuous thing.
Business, yeah, on there. And I like the idea Artie said about the letter that I could probably read next month. So
Leslie,
may I get a motion on this so we can move forward?
Leslie, we have probably in the neighborhood of about 2,700 businesses in college.
Yeah.
Total, right. That's what I was.
Yeah. Okay, that might be a lot to flash across the screen, but I mean, honestly, you guys flash the same things over and over. I don't see, if it's not going to hurt anybody.
Let's try this. It doesn't necessarily have to just be for the month of December. It can continue throughout the year saying, we appreciate X business, just putting it up on the board and for a short period of time, and then, continue to recognize businesses that are out there. I think that it would be very, it will be exciting if somebody heard, they may not see the board themselves, but they'll say, hey, I saw your name on the board at City Hall. And they say, oh, it was? That would be something that would be exciting. And it's better, it's great hearing from the city other than, getting a utility bill or a property.
I know that's right.
I don't know how the board works at City Hall, but we're limited in the number. We can't run 2,700 screens. We're very limited in the number of screens that we can run. And you have to think about how long people are at those lights, which is less than 3 minutes. So you can't run up. You can't just keep running screens. You're limited with the number. For the one at the convention center, I don't know about the one at City Hall.
Madam Chair, may I make a suggestion?
Yes, ma'am.
What if we do a general message on the one out in front of City Hall, and we work over the next 2 weeks as a board to vote on those businesses of the year? And we could do it as easily as a Survey Monkey type thing, and then we get those folks on the board at the GICC.
Right.
I like the mayor's idea, so I totally, if we're ready for a motion, I move that's what we do.
No, I think that's exactly right. That's the same sort of thing I wanted to do with the winners with a slot on the GICC board. And I think the message is a great idea on the LED in front of City Hall. So make your motion.
So excuse me, before we make the motion. So what I'm hearing, we won't need the letter for next month?
I think the letter's a nice idea.
Yeah, that's a good gesture as well. I mean,
I think a letter would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want me to make the motion? You want me to make the whole motion? Okay.
Yes.
The motion is that we put a general letter on the outside by City Hall. We will have in the next 2 weeks a general thank you, right? Is that what we're saying? Some type of message, a general letter, message at City Hall, okay? In addition, over the next 2 weeks, we'll do a Survey Monkey or something to determine the business categories of the year. Those businesses that are nominated will be put on the board at GICC. In addition, our chair will read a letter of appreciation to our businesses, to all of our businesses here in College Park.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all so very much. All right, GICC update.
Not much going on. We're working into our last concerts. We have one scheduled for this weekend. Actually, 2 Chainz performing this weekend, and then we have another concert scheduled for the 28th, and that'll end our outdoor concert series. We do have G League basketball that's going to start in January, so the season would go from January to March. We're having a hard time with the revenues versus the expenses at the convention center. So we've been meeting with Ed Wall as well as IFIA to see what we need to do to control some of the expenses at the convention center until COVID passes.
Well, Mercedes, I was over there today to have lunch at Destination Eatery, and it's closed.
Yes, it's closed for right now. We had with the FBI group, we had someone that tested positive, so we had to close the restaurant down for cleansing.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mercedes.
Well, Mercedes, I just want to say thank you again. You've done a great job from me as a citizen, just seeing, with during COVID, and this has been a challenge, and I just wanted to say thank you. Appreciate all that you've done and that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Economic development reports. Artie, Renee, somebody.
Be glad when BIDA comes back.
Pardon me?
First, Artie, are you sharing the screen or is it Tasha? I can't hear you.
Artie, your mic is off.
Turn your volume
Very low
up.
volume.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Barely.
You see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, for October, we had 3 new businesses and they're listed there on the screen. All 3 of these are housed in the Forum, the co-working space. She's occupying almost 100% of her spaces in that upstairs of the Yo-Yo Fair building. So very pleased about that. The next slide. And last month, or the month of October, a Nouveau restaurant celebrated their 1-year anniversary. And I'm not sure if you all were able to attend, but they had a local high school band out there to show fellowship for or appreciation for HBCU colleges. And so that was their anniversary for the 1 year. And then also this week on November 9th, Patty Marie celebrated 3 years in business on Main Street. So as we've talked about that message that's going to be going out, I'm very pleased that these businesses are pushing through everything that they're having to deal with to keep moving forward. And there was still churning out some good numbers. So I'm very happy about that. Next slide. And our favorite coffee shop on Virginia Avenue just had an installation of a little free library. A local Boy Scout troop came out and they completely constructed the structure. It's there right next to their outdoor patio right now. And then as you can see in the bottom, they were treated to free drinks after their work was done. So that was a great revolution for that business as well. It's a great opportunity for the local neighbors to stop by and exchange some books. Next slide. And I mentioned last month about our Virginia station, and I just wanted to include this month some slides. We're getting so close to being finished. If you haven't driven by there lately, I would advise you to do so. On the left, you can see some of the damage that was there. It was a lot of codes that were needed to be brought up to speed. So on the right, you see the renovation that is still ongoing right now. Hopefully by January, it should be 100% completed. Next slide. And I'm not sure if any of or all of you were able to attend some great events. We had the College Park Main Street Association has been working closely with the Cultural Arts Group, the Cultural Arts Council, and we put on, if I were president, I would, and I was not able to attend, but I did watch the videos and the children speaking, and it seems like it was a wonderful time. We have some up and coming wonderful young people in the neighborhood, and so I was very pleased about that. And then also there was a second spoken word event on November 7th, a poetry night, and we have another revolution of something else coming up in the near future, so be on the lookout for those emails. And next slide. And another event that the Main Street Association is working on very closely with the Cultural Arts Council is Rekindle. I'm sure you've heard it ultimately many times, but it's this weekend. The weather looks like it's going to be promising. So on Saturday, we'll have a art walk experience. And then on Saturday evening, we're asking people to grab some dinner from one of the local restaurants and have an outdoor picnic while the concert is beginning at 7 o'clock. And we will be marking off spaces, so everyone will be socially distanced. We will have masks and all the necessary things for people to have a wonderful time on that evening. On Sunday, we'll do the art walk experience again, and the art walk consists of the artists painting on the grounds of City Hall and the auditorium. They'll have their own chairs and easels and everything set up, and they'll be outdoor painting, and then we'll be having volunteers direct them down from that experience down Main Street to the area that will be blocked off where the parklets will be installed. We'll have an image of what the parklet will look like, and then we'll have a volunteer escorting visitors over to Push Arts, which is behind the depot in the Methodist Church. And we'll have those studios open on Saturday and Sunday so people can go through and tour those locations as well. And then on Sunday evening, we're going to have a gallery sale from the participating fine artists and any other artists in the community that would like to sell some of their artwork. A proceed of the art that's sold that evening will go to the artists, and a portion of those proceeds will go to the mural committee that is working on the mural for the auditorium. And next slide. And then just some last updates. I created this before November 7th. So the poetry night happened on November 7th. The next Main Street board meeting is not November 11th now. We decided to hold off on the November meeting and meet on December 9th, which is our next scheduled meeting of December. And then again, the Rekindle event on the 14th and 15th. And that's all for me, unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Renee.
All right, thank you.
Hello and good evening. I'll be presenting on the South Side. So currently in the month of October, we had 17 new businesses to the South Side area, to include Old National, Sullivan, Phoenix Boulevard, and Godby Road. You can move on. I actually got this idea from our vice chair, Mr. Taylor. I wanted to start doing a business to visit each month to just bring more notoriety to our businesses that are located there. This month, I did decide upon Train or Die Compound, which is located at 4855 Unit C2. It's in the old Service Merchandise Plaza towards the back. It is a full fitness compound, enough space to be socially distanced, as well as they do circuit training. They have yoga on Wednesdays at noon, and some of their classes are also offered virtually. So they are available on Instagram and Facebook, and feel free to check them out for more information. Next slide. So I wanted to provide some updates coming up on November 16th, as far as there will be some suggested updates to current ordinances that would be affecting the Old National area specifically. And then also, I didn't list it on there, but there will be a filming requested actually for tomorrow for a BET production, and they'll be filming on the corner of Main and Mercer. So that will go from tomorrow afternoon until the evening. Also, we have the State of the Aerotropolis coming up. It will be held virtually on December the 11th at 11:30 a.m. So please contact me if you would like to attend. Are there any questions regarding the South Side?
Thank you, Tasha.
And also the CID meetings, as well as Old National merchants, are being held virtually. As far as the Old National, it seems that it's going back and forth between board meetings and their regular meetings. So just feel free to contact me if interested in attending.
For the director's report, the traffic study for the Gateway mixed-use development has been completed. Right now, it is being reviewed by Gary and other staff people, and also it's going through its 30-day review period with the airport. Recently, the Economic Development Office has completed the Tax Allocation District Advisory Council application that will be submitted.
Created this before November 7th?
I'm sorry?
There was a delay. That sounded like there was a delay.
Okay, but the tax allocation district application was completed, and we will have a meeting on Wednesday, it's supposed to be the 18th. That will be the first meeting for the application. And then the TAD application will then be presented to the City Council on December 7th. And if it is authorized at that time, a resolution will be authorized, and it will be submitted to the Fulton County school system before December 31st. Within this application, we will be requesting about $30.4 million in tax allocation funds, which can only be used within the tax allocation district for infrastructure type projects like roads, streets, other utilities. Right now, we're working on the Camp Creek Bridge design. And when I talk about Camp Creek Bridge design, I'm talking about the tributary that's actually in the 6 West development. We're designing a bridge over the creek, which is in the 6 West development. It will one day become Road Street. That's one of the major streets within the 6 West development, as well as Columbia. And then, of course, we have applied for several brownfield grants. I believe there was one $500,000 grant that we applied for, as well as two $300,000 grants. I believe one of the grants is for assessment, and the other 2 grants are for cleanup. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Artie Jones.
Welcome.
Other issues? I like to make one comment here for other issues. I understand there has been some misinformation out in the community regarding warehouses on the Jamestown property. I am not aware of any discussion that the BIDA board has had regarding warehouses on the 18 acres. So I just want to be clear that BIDA has not discussed anything regarding warehouses on Jamestown 18 acres. As a matter of fact, I believe that property is not zoned for warehouses. Am I correct? Somebody?
Correct. It's currently under a commercial zoning.
Thank you very much, Tasha. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to be clear on that. And one other statement I like to make is that the Jamestown property over there, the 18 acres, the 18 acres are in Ward 2, not Ward 4. Again, the 18 acres in Ward 2, not Ward 4. So if you have concerns about the Jamestown property, please make sure you give Councilman Taylor, call him if you have any questions or concerns, or speak to Artie and Tasha with Economic Development. Thank you all. I appreciate that. We have Dan Lee. I'm sorry, Dan, I got in front of you. Review of updates to handbook by Attorney Dan Lee. Are you there, Dan?
I'm here. I was trying to find my picture. We were asked last time to update the handbook to answer a question that had come up about the process for calling a special call meeting of the BIDA board. And if you have it there, and I don't know if I got it to Artie in time, the change that has been made is just an addition where there are two ways to call a special meeting. One is the chairperson can do it, or 3 members of the board can call it. We've added some clarification from your direction that adds, if a special call meeting is proposed or requested by the written request of 3 or more members of the authority, that request should be directed to the chairperson, who shall then follow this process of notification and schedule.
Very good, Attorney Lee.
That addresses the concerns that you all had earlier.
Okay.
If it meets your approval, I'd ask that you motion second and vote on it so we make it official.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I have a question in regard to it.
Okay.
That writing, may it be electronic?
That's a good question. It doesn't suggest it, but because the process that it attaches itself to was done before folks were doing electronic, so it might be time to update that as well.
I'd be willing to make the motion as long as we include that that notification can be electronic as well.
We can make that change.
Okay. So I'm ready for your motion, Mayor.
So moved with the addition of electronic as a means of communicating that writing.
There you go.
May I have a second?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. All right, now may I have a motion, please, to exit our regular session to enter into executive session to discuss real estate or possible litigation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Good evening.